from very far away to make this trip today is our I-Step lady. And so let's make sure we give her our full attention so that we know all the super tips. And we remember all the super tips when we start taking I-Step this week.
Ooh, I love this week. This week's test week. What test? I-Step test. Oh, I love this week. This is a good week. And your teacher's invited me to come and share some important reminders. And so I'm here. And I'm going to share 4 tips that will help you rock this test. But you know that the language arts portion of the test starts with passages you have to read, right? Yes. And so I thought before I can give you any tips about the reading and the writing, we have to have a passage. So I use this fancy equipment, and I've got a passage to show you. Let's get started. Now, this is not the passage you will see on the test this week. All right? This is not this is just a practice. All right? So don't think this is the test. I wouldn't do that. This passage is going to be about a 6-year-old who has a YouTube channel, and his name is Ryan. Let me read part of the article here on the next page. In the past, the best-known child stars have been actors. They've become famous because they starred in movies or on TV. Today, however, some of the most famous child stars are not actors at all. Instead, they are stars on YouTube. One of the biggest young YouTube stars is a 6-year-old named Ryan. Ryan stars in videos where he plays with toys. These videos are loved by millions of children around the world. Started making toy review videos at age 3. When Ryan was 3 years old, his parents started taking videos of him opening toys. Ryan plays with the toys in the videos. He reviews them, saying if the toys are fun or boring. His parents then post the videos on their YouTube channel. It is called Ryan Toys Review. Ryan's last name is a secret. Where he lives is a secret. And there's a good reason for that. Thanks to his videos, Ryan has become a multi-millionaire. One of the highest paid people on YouTube. Forbes magazine just put out a list of the highest paid people on YouTube, and Ryan is listed as number 8. He earned $11 million between June 1st, 2016 and June 1st, 2017. So we're going to just use this pretend passage here because I want to teach you 4 tips and we need a passage. And so I found this one on Newzella. You ever been to Newzella? You ever seen that? Okay, well, it's neat. Okay, let's go to our first tip. You're going to read a passage, and then you're going to have questions, right? And those questions are going to ask you to answer with details from the reading. And all your teachers say, read carefully. Be careful when you read. But I don't know if they always tell you why. And it's because we, the test ladies, when we're writing the test, we use Teachery Words. You got to answer the question we ask. We use all these big teacher words, and you got to pay attention to them. Let me ask you this. Have you ever, in class, the teacher asks a question, and you raise your hand, and you're going to answer it, and the teacher says, well, you're right, but that's not what I asked you. And then your teacher asks a question again a different way, and you're like, oh! And then you answer it, and she says, yeah, good job. Have you ever seen that happen? Where someone asks the wrong question? Yeah, kids do that all the time on my tests. Well, you don't get 2 chances on my test. You got to pay attention to the words in the question. I use lots of teachery words. Let me show you. You know, we read about Ryan, the 6-year-old. Okay, let me show you. Maybe after you read that, I say, name a child star of the present. Or I might summarize what is known about this child star of the present. Or I might say, describe the characteristics of child stars of the present. Or even compare child stars from the past to the present. Those all kind of sound the same after a while, don't they? They're all very different. The answers are very different. You got to pay attention to the teachery words. Name a star. Summarize what we know about this star. Describe the characteristics of child stars. Compare past stars to present stars. Those are all different questions. When the teacher or the test lady asks a question, you gotta pay attention to the teachery words, because sometimes you're given the right answer to the wrong question. That is not what we asked you. Let me show you again by pointing out that when we look at these different answers, they're gonna sound a little different here. Those child star questions might be, let's delete that. A 6-year-old named Ryan is a child star. He opens toys and plays with them while his parents video. They post his reviews on YouTube. Millions of children love him. That's a summary. This one might be as simple as name a child star, and we simply say, a 6-year-old named Ryan is a child star. Is that a different answer than that? Yeah. Well, yeah. But if I ask this, and you give me this, you think you're going to get any points? No. Well, no. You got to pay attention to the teacher words. You got to answer the right question. Describe characteristics of a child star. Many child stars are not real actors. They're just regular people who make videos and post them on YouTube. Is that a different answer than that? Yeah. Do you see how the question changes? Right? So please, don't think you know what they're asking. Read it carefully. Think, what kind of answer do they want? Because you don't want to miss those points, do you? No, we don't want to miss those points. Last one here is a comparison, which means you have to give a detail about the past and the present. Child stars from the past were from movies or TV shows. However, today many child stars are not real actors. They're just regular people making videos on YouTube. Do you guys think you can remember tip number 1? Yeah. Do you think you can remember? Don't just read carefully and think about that. Whoopsie daisies. I dropped my poster. Okay. We've only done the first one, so I'm going to hide those. Pay attention to teacher words. This is what we do. I read carefully so that I answer the question that was asked. You ready for number 2? Tip number 2. But before I can give you tip number 2, let's read the rest of the article about Ryan. Because this kid's a millionaire. This is a true story, you guys. I'm not making this up. This is big. Okay, so we've already read all the way to here, and he made $11 million. Here we go. Ryan watched a lot of toy review videos when he was younger. He especially liked videos about Thomas the Tank Engine toys. One day, he asked his mother, how come I'm not on YouTube when all the other kids are? His parents decided they would let Ryan make his own videos too. They took him to the store to get his first toy. That's when they started to video him. Ryan started by playing with 1 toy at a time. Then he started playing with 2 at a time. Some videos had him playing with 10 toys at a time. After about 4 months, his YouTube channel had an explosion in the number of viewers. And this happened after a video of Ryan reviewing 100 toys all at once. 10 million subscribers. Ryan Toys Review was a hit. In January 2016, 1 million people had signed up for his channel. A year later, more than 5 million people had signed up. And now, there are more than 10 million people. In June, Ryan Toys Review was the most viewed YouTube channel in the United States for the 40th week in a row. In September, Ryan even welcomed a special guest. The NBA player Kevin Durant was one of Ryan's videos. He did a science experiment, and when Ryan really likes a toy, millions of people know it. And after that, the sales of that toy are very good. Every time someone clicks on one of Ryan's videos, his family makes money. That's because there are many ads on Ryan's YouTube channel. What happens to all the toys Ryan plays with? His parents say they're given to charity. Okay, so now we've read the whole thing. Tip number 2. I gave you a tip about the questions. Now I'll give you a tip about the answers. I want to talk to you about, sometimes when you look at your choices, you think, but this one, no, that's not right. But you ever kind of got stuck between 2 or 3? And you're like, I don't know. All right, I think I can help you. Bullseye. We're trying to find the bullseye answer, aren't we? The perfect answer, the right one. Okay, so to do this, let's look at an example. Here's a pretend question from that passage about Ryan. Which detail best shows that Ryan Toys Review is popular? Well, you ever seen some of those questions where we ask things like, what most likely is the reason? Which one is the best? Oh, those are kind of tricky sometimes. I think I can help you with a couple tips. Which one is the best? That means all of them are kind of okay, but one's better. We got to figure that out. Here are a couple options. 1, answer A. Ryan Toys Review got really popular after he reviewed 100 toy cars at once. Okay, well, no, whoa. Remember tip number 1, the teacher words. Okay, so which detail shows it's popular? He got popular after 100 toys were reviewed. Well, that's how he got popular, but it doesn't show he is popular, does it? No. They're trying to trick you. No, move that one out here. That is not a bullseye answer. That's not a bullseye answer. Wait, that's easy. We got that. Okay, here we go. What's another choice that I might have? Sometimes when people click on one of Ryan's toy review movie or videos, his family makes money. Does that show he's popular? He's making money when he clicks on one of the videos his family makes. Well, they're clicking because he's popular. And I have some kids who say, well, yeah, because he's popular. They're clicking. They're making money. Maybe. And what I want you to do is read all the choices. Do not stop after just reading 1 or 2. That's it. Pick it and move on. No, read all the choices. Read all the choices. Here we go. Ryan Toys Review went from 1 million people signed up to 10 million people signed up. Does that show he's popular? Well, he's popular because he's making money. That's how I know he's popular. He's popular because a lot of people are signing him. Oh, I don't know about B or C. They're kind of getting close for me. Oh, what's this one? Ryan has special guests like Kevin Durant. Does that show he's popular? Well, anybody can have a special guest, right? You do not have to be popular to have a guest. That's an easy one. That's a way out here. Oh, boy. B or C. That's how it happens. Some say B, some say C. Ooh, wait, I got a tip. I got 2 secrets. I want to show you. 2 secrets. First, how do you decide? Because when it gets close, it's hard to decide. 2 tips. First, I want you to read, the little words. The little words. Yeah. people clicking on his videos, his family makes money. Those aren't little words. Little words are and, or, all, always, some. We're going to come back to that. Let's look at the little words here. Ryan's toy review went from 1 million to 10 million. There's not really any little words there. This has sometimes. This has one. We're going to want to pay. Okay, well, what about the little words? I'll come back. Look at secret 2. Choose the answer most kids would pick. This is the best, the most likely. If it's the most likely answer, it's the one most other kids would pick. Sometimes we think and overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just wait. You can hem and haw and think and go, you're making it too hard. You're making it too hard. What one would most kids think? And some people will say C. I heard a lot of you saying C. And so a lot of people, I think it's C. I think that's the answer. Well, let's go back one more time. Read the little words. This is where they get you on that tricky one. Sometimes they'll say, sometimes, all the time, every time. When they click on 10 or more videos, when they do this and this, you know how you figure it out? Go back to the text. Sometimes when people click, the family makes money. Let's go back to the passage right here. Go right here to this part. Every time someone clicks, his family makes money. What did that say? Whoa. But what did my answer say? Is that right? No. B is not right. C is the bullseye. All right? You have to read for the little words. You have to think, what would everybody else probably say? That's tip number 2, you guys. Choose the bullseye. Whoopsie daisies. All right. I read each answer. You can't do this if you don't read all the answers. And I choose the one most kids would pick. All right. You ready for number 3? Number 3. Here we go. Okay, now that was about the questions and some of the multiple choice answers in other parts. Now I want to talk about the parts where you have to write or type. You know those parts? Okay, every time we ask a question, we always want the answer and proof. We always want proof. We want evidence. We want to know you went and got those details from the passage. This one's worth points, more than 1 point. These are sometimes worth 2 points. Or longer ones are worth 4 points, and you want to get all the points. When we ask you for the evidence, for the proof, your teacher in everyday class might say, good answer, how do you know? That's not what we say on the test. We use big fancy words, big fancy language. What do we say? We say things like, use specific evidence to support your answer. That's just fancy for, how do you know? What details? Use what you learned from the text to support your writing. That's just fancy for, how do you know? Support your response with evidence from each source. Fancy for, what details helped you figure that out? Use specific details and examples from the article to support your idea. This is all fancy, wah. And it all just means, how do you know? You have to use details from the text. That's what we want to see. So, let me show you an example. Let's pretend after reading about Ryan, the multimillionaire, here was what you had to write on the lines. You had to answer this question or type it into the window. After having read the article, describe how the YouTube channel, Ryan Toys Review, began. Use specific details from the article to support your response. Okay. I can't tell you how many kids get No points on this. I don't think that's a hard question at all. Do you? I don't either. But they don't get any points because they don't know what we're really looking for. If you just wrote something like, how did it begin? Ryan opens toys and talks about them on the video. That's no points. What? Sometimes when we're doing this test, we're like, oh, I got this. And then we just started writing. And whoa, you're too general. You're too vague. No, that's worth 0 points. No, don't do that. Wait a minute. I asked how, describe, which means write some sentences, right? Describe how it began. Does that even tell me how it began? No, that tells me what he does, not how he did it. No, 0. Let's try another one. Ryan Toys Review began. Oh, this is looking better. After Ryan saw other kids on YouTube talking about toys. Is that a better answer? Definitely a better answer. Yeah, well, wait a minute. Describe how it began. Check. Use details from the art. There's no more details, is there? This kid is not going to get 2 points. This kid's only going to get 1 point. Because if we say this, we expect more sentences, like according to the passage, details from the reading, one example from the text. Have you heard of those kinds of things? Right? You got to use in the next sentences. When this kid didn't do it, he gets 1 point. He gets 1 point for the answer, but he does not get any points for how do you know. Oh, no. I think I can help you with this. I think I can help you with this by telling you about the peepers. You ever seen peepers? Oh, I got some in my pocketbook here. I got one. Oh, yeah, these are peepers. This is a peeper. See, this is a peeper. And when you write the answer from your thinking, oh, that's really good. Oh, but you're not done. We need details. Where do you get details? From the article. You got to go back and look back. We want actual words and details from the article. We got to go back. What? Wait a minute. We got to go back. If I can't find it and see it, it's not a detail from the text. You got to go back. When I say go back, I mean find it. Where is it? Find it. And so, how, whoopsie-daisies. I'm going to need to get myself some more tape. Okay, let's find the part where he here's where it starts. We got to find the details. So far, all we have is Ryan. He saw kids and he began his own. What are some details? He watched toys. We already said that. Remember? We already said that. He began after he saw other kids. That is not a detail. That's not a new detail yet. I need a new detail. He asked his mom, how come I'm not on YouTube? That's a detail. How many details do you need? No, you need at least 2. Okay, I got 1. I got to find another one. Let's find another one here. Okay, and his parents said, okay. They decided to here we go. You want a 2-point? Look at how much longer it is. You gotta write more. You can't do, well, he just did this. That doesn't get you any points. No, look, same first sentence. Ryan's toy review began after Ryan saw other kids on YouTube talking about toys. According to the article, he asked his mom, how come I'm not on YouTube? The article stated that then his parents decided they would let Ryan make his own videos. Did I find those details in the text? If you just do this second part, the details from your brain, from your memory, it's not enough. You got to go back and find it. You got to turn the page. You got to scroll back. You got to look back. Or it's not a detail from the reading. It's a detail from your memory, right? All right. Let's pick this up. A long way down. Okay, so let's just use this because we're going into number 4 anyway. Let's look at number 3. What was number 3? Give answers with evidence. You gotta find it. You gotta find it. I'll look back at the text and see the details that prove they no more of this. I got it. I remember it. I'm good. You're not good. Do not do that. Stop that. Knock that off. That is not what we're looking for. Last one, right? 4 tips. Number 4. Here we go. The 4th tip is about the main idea. Ooh, do we love asking questions about the main idea? We always want to know, what's this passage mostly about? What's the author's big idea? What's the central message in this article? Those are all fancy words for main idea. Okay, I do not know why that keeps doing that. All right, here we go. So we might ask it like this. Which sentence best describes the main idea of this article? All right, now, here's something to know. Here's something to know. Let me back up. Some kids, when I ask what's the main idea of that article, they say, toys. They say 6-year-old. They say YouTube. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Main idea is never a word. It is always a sentence. You have to write a sentence for the main idea. The main idea is not about YouTube. That's a topic. Some people will say it's about a millionaire who's 6 years old, a multimillionaire. Others will say the main idea is a 6-year-old reviews toys. Others will say parents video their 6-year-old kid for YouTube. And other kids will say 6-year-old is multimillionaire with his own YouTube channel. They're different? That's what some kids say. They're different? They all sound the same to me. Oh, they're different. You know what main idea is, you guys? It's the umbrella. It's another really good title. Remember the title of this? Let's go all the way back. What's the title from the original? So if we put a new title on this, that would be a main idea. YouTube star is not a main idea. It's a topic, right? We need a title. We need an umbrella. Let me show you. I want you to, I just shrunk down each 4 times, same story, same YouTube guy. All I did was put the title. If you write the right main idea, then it's like the umbrella that fits over the whole art. It's what it's mostly about, right? Some people think it's that. Some people think this is about 6-year-old reviewing toys. Other kids think that this is mostly about parents videoing their 6-year-old on YouTube. And finally, others might say, I think it's about a 6-year-old who's a multimillionaire with a YouTube channel. There's no mention of toys at all. How do you figure out main idea? This can be hard. Okay, I'll tell you the secret. Here it is. If the title, the main idea, is mostly about it, then most of the sentences are about it. Most of the sentences are about it. I did a little work last night. Let me show you what I mean. You see, those are the same 4, right? So, if the article, which is under a white box, I'm going to show you in a minute. If the article is mostly about this, then I'm going to highlight any details about a multimillionaire who is 6. I'm not going to highlight any details about toys. I am not going to highlight any details about YouTube, because if that's the main idea, most of this should be about a multimillionaire who is 6. Let's see. Oh boy, I messed that up. There we go. Do you see my pink? It's a little hard to see, but do you see it? Right here, right here. Do you see it? I'll darken it. I highlighted these words. Why? Because they're about either multimillionaire or the 6-year-old. And that's all I was able to highlight. Is that most of it? Yeah. Is that the main? That's most of. Did I highlight most of the article? Yeah. Well, no, I did not. I don't think that's 3/4. We gotta work on the math part. I better come back. All right, let's look at this one. If I could, in my mind, highlight all of the words and details that are about a 6-year-old reviewing toys, then I would only highlight that. You see it? This. I shrunk down the article after I read it, but I highlighted all the details that go with that umbrella. Is that what it's mostly about? No, because I got a lot not highlighted, right? Is that a good choice? Let's try this one. Here we go. Ooh, I'm seeing a little more. I'm going to highlight anything about parents videoing a 6-year-old on YouTube. And look at all that I was highlighting. Oh boy, is this one maybe better than the other? It's definitely better than that one, isn't it? Yeah. They're pretty close. But I'll tell you what, when we give you the main idea, when we want the main idea, it's going to be crystal clear what it's mostly about. Here we go. Let's see. 6-year-old. Any detail about a 6-year-old. Any detail about being a multimillionaire. Anything about YouTube. Nothing about toys, though. Take note. Is there more highlighted on this one? Oh, yeah. What would you say is the answer if you had to write it or choose it on multiple choice? If the question was, which sentence best describes the main idea of this article? Let's say the answer together. Letter D. Yeah. Oh, I think you guys are ready. Because that's my 4th and final tip, and I'm going to leave my chart. You're going to need to add some tape because it doesn't stick so great, okay? And so add up. Do you get it? Do you get what I mean by add up? The most sentences, if it's mostly about it, it'll have the most sentences about it, right? Add up to see what it's mostly about. Good luck. I cannot wait to see you rock this test. Thank you for letting me come in, and thank your teachers. Let's give them a quick round of applause.